Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Downfall Upload number 2, where I will continue to bring WoW news and tips and guild news from both in and out of game. So without further ado, let's pull this boss. As I mentioned in the last episode, Legion is just around the corner, coming up on us August 30th. And with the pre-patch live, this is the best time to make sure Illidan doesn't make you look like a fool. In Legion, no weapons will be dropping from bosses, world mobs, or anywhere at all. Instead, you will have an artifact weapon. With a rich backstory and questline to introduce you to its power and lore, I strongly recommend you take your time, read and listen, and enjoy every little bit of lore you're doing with the questline. I promise you won't regret it. Artifacts also bring a new progression mechanic in the artifact trait tree. Say that 3 times fast. For those of you who have been around since at least Cataclysm, this will look semi-familiar to the old talents for every class. Artifact traits are leveled up via artifact power. Now this is a resource you can get from drops, quests, and even missions from your class order hall. On the trait trees, you'll see some minor traits that are passive increases in different stats and abilities, and you'll see 4 major traits. One of those you get right away with the artifact weapon, and the other 3 you'll have to fill the rest of the tree to get. These major traits buff your abilities in class in a way that will be very important for raiding and PvP progression. Looking up your artifact ahead of time and knowing which direction you want to pursue first is a great idea rather than trying to do it on the fly. Artifacts also have runes. These runes drop from quests and mobs just like the artifact power and buff the weapon's item level up, giving you more stats. They also add to one of your traits in the tree. And yes, that can push the level of that trait above the maximum level you can level it up otherwise. This is very important, and if you retain absolutely none of the rest of this video, make sure that you are listening to me right now. Artifact weapons, on average, will take roughly 5 months to fully level up every trait. This means that this is the absolute best time for you during this pre-patch to be playing with your specs and figuring out which one that you really like, because that's the one you're going to be stuck with for several months while you upgrade this weapon. I promise you, raid leaders won't be putting up with anyone spec switching just to try to be the flavor of the month, unless you have a fully upgraded artifact weapon. So please, pick out your spec now, figure out which ones you're most excited to play, and level the first one up to its max before you even consider rolling your second one. But speaking of raids, we have our 2 mainstay raids returning back for some heroic action in Legion. Firstly, PMS is making its triumphant return to the game after skipping an expansion to try Mythic with FRNG. We'll be looking at a slightly earlier raid time to accommodate our current real lives, and we'll be looking for a few to fill our ranks. Our focus is on clearing the content quickly while still having fun. And while we won't be focused on Mythics as our primary goal, I've got a couple of really good ideas to keep us busy between content patches. Check out the link below to find out more. Next, Galaga is making a return with a bang. Bad Penny and crew are also looking to make a strong focus on heroic clears. So that means a lot less ulting around and a lot more boss killing. As of this episode, they're keeping the same schedule, so for those of you who are looking for the earlier raid time, this is the one you want to check out. Link will be posted on the website as soon as they're ready to schedule their meeting. For those of you craving Mythic content though, Bad Penny and I have come up with an idea and a plan that I think you're gonna like. Once both raids have made some decent progression in the current tier, the idea is to pick an off day, like a Saturday for example, and get as many volunteer raiders from both raids as possible to go into the last raid's Mythic, or the easier bosses on the current raid's Mythic, and kill some of them. This will offer us some Mythic progression, some achievements for the guild, and possibly some loot and goodies. While this will be optional, it will be incredibly encouraged, as we'll need all the help from our better raiders that we can get. Keep an eye and an ear out, because Bad Penny and I will always be discussing the viability of this during tier, and we'll be looking to schedule this and let you know. In the last Downfall upload, I told you about the Gold from the Guild Leader raid that we made on the Brawlers Guild. This raid couldn't have gone better. The night before the pre-patch, we all met up down in the Brawlers Guild and managed to open the portal to Orgrimmar, where we proceeded to surprise attack the Horde outside of their gates. Shortly after, they mounted a rather sizable defense, and we went with our tails between our legs to head back to the Brawlers Guild and get some more achievements. Now, as I'm sure you're all wondering, but elapsed, who won your gold? Well, that was Sato who got my 10,000 gold. But this was only after Kalu managed to win the role twice and pass both times. So congratulations to Sato on your 10,000 gold. Now this time around, I've got another gold from the guild leader raid planned, but you've got a whole week to sign up and get ready for it. This time around, we're going to be heading into Hellfire Citadel, where we've got to help a couple of guildies get the last couple achievements they need for the meta. Those two guildies, Light Arrow and Fandango. With any time left over, we'll be looking to get more achievements, but the goal is to get those two that they need. Remember, as with all gold from the guild leaders, as long as you stay for the main goal, you'll be entered to win 10,000 of my gold. Sign up link with the date and time is down below, so be sure to click it so that I know you're coming. And remember, coming to this raid will be an excellent time to try out which spec you're going to be using in Legion, as this will be a normal difficulty raid and you'll get to see how you perform. But do me a favor, if you do, make sure you've got your stuff enchanted and you know your new rotation correctly. We don't want to be wasting any time. Even though this raid will be on normal, we want to take it seriously. In this week's Guildies in the Real World feature, we'll be covering a couple of badasses you know and love. First up, Magai. He's that grumpy, cantankerous tank and raid leader that you know and love, and he's seen us through countless tiers of raid. Well, unfortunately, he won't be joining us right away in Legion though, as he's been deployed to the Middle East. Now, I won't be giving specifics due to not wanting to endanger his safety over there, but I think I can speak for everyone when I say, come back safe as soon as possible. We appreciate what you're doing over there, and finally, I hope that AC is ample and never goes out. Next up for our guildies in the real world, we feature Dickimo, or as some of you might actually know him as Aaron Brutch. He's the bassist from Breaking Benjamin, and their band is out on tour right now. For us Pacific Northwesterners, he'll be up in Auburn, Washington on August 21st. I've stuck a link for the event down in the description below, so go out and enjoy yourself a concert before Legion launches and takes every non-working waking hour of your life. Holy cow, quick addition here to the tail end of the video. Blizzard announced, literally as I was editing this video, the Demon Hunters and the Demon Invasion will be dropping on August 9th. For those looking to start Demon Hunter, this is when you get to do it. The Demon Hunter's starting zone and starting story is very rich, it's very enveloping. Take your time enjoying it. The mobility and abilities for them seems quite fun and definitely befitting of a new class. For those, though, who are like me, will be sticking to their main, it's invasion time. There will now be Demon Hunter Envoy in Stormwind. There you will exchange your invasion currency for transmogs and items to help gear up your alts to item levels upwards of 725. Lastly, there's also a pet that can only be acquired during this invasion. Don't miss your opportunity. I've got a link down in the description with a guide to invasions. So that's it for the Downfall upload this week. Next time, I'll be covering class order halls and how they differ from garrisons. Also, we'll be looking at the questing system and how exactly you go about leveling in Legion. Also, we'll be letting you know who won the gold from my Gold from the Guild Leader event. Remember, if you're listening to me right now, sign up is down in the description. Go over and sign up. Come on out, have some fun with your guild. But until next time, may all of your boss drops be mounts, and may all of your quest upgrades be epic.